What's up, everybody, and welcome to a special Christmas episode with Bricks and Toys. And today, I am very happy to announce that we will be building the upscaled Santa minifigure. Now, this set is one that I am super excited for. When I originally went through back in November to try to get some of these Christmas time sets, I was just able to get the family Christmas tree. I passed up on the train because it was a little bit too pricey for my price range right now. I wanted to get this set and the AT-AT gingerbread. And unfortunately, well, I couldn't find this, nor could I find the gingerbread AT-AT walker. Very disappointed. Then shortly after, I was at the mall and I walked by the Lego store and they had the upscaled minifigure. Unfortunately, I did not have any money. So I had to walk on by with it in the back of my mind, was that a mistake? Because it was sold out online a couple weeks before you just saw it here in the store. But you know what? If it's not the time, it's not the time. Then another couple weeks goes by. Now we're in early December. I still want the set, and now I have some money, and now I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy it because I know that the Lego store has it. So I go to the Lego store in my mall. They don't have it no more. Still sold out online. Lego store had it. Then they didn't have it, and I'm just like, well, I guess it ain't happening this year. And then just a few days ago, I was at the mall once again, doing some Christmas shopping for the mother-in-law, and I was like, you know what? You do the shopping at Lush, dear, and me, the man of the house, will go to the Lego store as we should. So I took myself over to the Lego store, and guess what? It happened. And so here we are with a blessing of a Christmas episode. I really wanted to do a Christmas episode for you guys so bad. And I was just to the point of like, it ain't gonna happen. Sorry, we did the family Christmas tree. That's it. But that all changes today with this set. Now, what set am I talking about? Well, it's the upscaled Santa minifigure. Set number 40820. It's a 10 and older set with 761 pieces. And this set does retail for $55, $54.99 here in the US. The hardest thing about this set, your Lego store may have it, but Lego Online has not had it for like the last 2 months. Now, the big defining difference between the AT-AT Gingerbread and this set, which is the two that I wanted, is this one is back order. The AT-AT Gingerbread, or the Gingerbread AT-AT, however you want to say it, is just out of stock. There is no order it option and it'll get here when it gets here. No, it's out of stock. And that really tells me that that set is unattainable. I really do hope that the Gingerbread AT-AT does become available next year to buy, but if it doesn't, I might be getting bent over the eBay coals to get that set. But that's next year me's problem. This year me has, well, at least this extra set for the holidays. This has to be the least amount of Christmas Lego I have bought since 2022 when I originally got into Lego. And it's kind of sad because 2023, 2024, I brought the heat, bought so much Christmas Lego. I pull it out every single year. I love it. It's great. And then this year and the first year is kind of like, bruh, did you even try? But in my defense, if they would have made a Winter Village set that wasn't a train, it would be a little bit better. They really just missed it on that train. So in terms of Lego releases and stuff, we still do have another video coming out this month about the New Year's Lego sets. So I did say that video was coming. That is still coming. It's just we have this gift to talk about today. Now, on top of buying this set, I did get two other sets that I did want to talk about with you guys. One is the Celebration Series number 4 Gingerbread Train ornament. So I guess this is a tree ornament that is a gingerbread train for 190 pieces. and it's set number 40777. And I think she said that the GWP threshold for this was $75 that she made me spend in order to get it. So I basically had to spend $20 over this guy. And no big deal. That was pretty cool. So I was able to pick this up. I kind of thought I was going to miss this too, but I luckily didn't. One I didn't really count on, and I still really don't care too much about, is the Christmas Chimney Fun with Santa. I don't know if he's floating because he's got gifts on his shoulders. I'm not too sure about this. 60-piece set number 30692. I might do a little video short about each of these just to string some content along for you guys. I'm not going to waste my time making a video. Now, one more thing I did get with this set to clear the threshold, besides some stocking stuffers for the wife that I can't disclose, are some minifigures. And these are the Build-A-Minifigures that they do. And they are the Christmas edition. We have the Mrs. Claus right here. We have the elf. And we have a golden Santa. I usually do not pick these up, but golden Santa. I really thought that the golden Santa was really freaking cool, and I kind of had to have a golden Santa in my collection. And by the way, did I mention it's a golden Santa? So overall, it was a pretty fun trip to the Lego store. Kind of bittersweet because I just know that in 2026, there's not going to be a lot of me getting into the Lego store and buying a lot of Lego. I really hope that does change with some, employment changes and stuff, but we will see where the year takes us. It's too early to predict. I really did miss the Lego store over the last couple months. I think October was the last time I was even in there. So to go in there and buy something was kind of bittersweet. And I really hope that that's not the last time I'm able to go in there and buy stuff, because, well, things have gotten really tough around here, and that's why I'm not putting out so many videos as I used to. But it's Christmas, so let's not get tied down about things that we don't have. Let's talk about what we do have, and let's talk about this box. Now, this is what I believe to be a Lego exclusive, so thus we have a unique box. And with that being said, well, it's just a Greebolt green side and a blue box for the rest of it. And when we look at the Greebolt green side, that's where we get our Lego logo and the information that I already introduced. And then when we come over here to the blue side, looks like we got like a fireplace and a sack in the background with a Christmas tree. So basically like a living room scene. Basically Santa comes down the chimney, puts Christmas presents under the tree. That's your backdrop. And then we have Santa in front of it all. And the Santa looks relatively great. We will discuss his details in the review segment, but he is there on the box and exactly what I would expect from him. Moving over to the side of the box, well, it being a Lego exclusive, it does not have anything on that side other than the set number and the Lego logo. Going over to this side of the box, even worse. Nothing, not even a print besides a serial number on this side of the box. Coming over here to the top of the box, we have our country of origin and our do not eat it. Lego logo with set number 1-to-1 of Santa's face. And then on the bottom of the box, we have our recycling information, legal, barcode, and another Lego and a set number. We do not have any Lego.com or Lego app information on the bottom of this box. Then we move to the back of the box where we can see a picture and another picture of Santa. The larger picture of Santa, like the one on the front of the box, showcases him now sitting. And unlike Gizmo, you don't gotta take him apart because, like most upscaled minifigures that we've built, the legs do fold. And then in our picture, it has its dimensions, that it is 10.7 inches in height and 6.9 inches in width. Besides all of that, it's just an extension of the picture on the front, encased in the back, which is the Christmas tree with the presents, Lego with the set number. And that is our box, guys. Now, I do not remember when we did the upscaled Octane Racing Driver, but I do remember when we built the classic upscaled minifigure from a few years ago, we did kind of have a reusable box. I would have liked to have seen a reusable box for this guy, but going into our unboxing segment, we do not. We have 2 punch tabs to get this party started, so let's go ahead and let's do that and give you guys the first look inside of the box. Okay, there we go. What you guys see? Oh. You know what you guys see and you know what I feel? I think this is the first 100% official paper bag set. Oh my gosh. Finally, after all of the years I've done this channel, it is Christmas, guys. Literally, it is Christmas. We have our first paper bags. I have never experienced the paper bags. Wow, this is cool. The closest I've gotten is on the family Christmas tree, the small little paper bags inside of the plastic traditional bags. Those were a part of this transition. Now going into this set, we got them, guys. We finally have paper bags. And I know it sounds corny that I'm so excited about paper bags, but they've been advertising this since 2022. And for us peasant collectors who are not on the Ambassador Network, we don't get these sets sent from Europe. And I believe that the Europe sets are the first ones to get this style packaging. So this is super freaking cool. Now let's regain our focus here. We do have a book. I do not believe we're going to have any stickers with this set. I think it's all prints. Bag-wise, let's count them out. But before we do, I'm going to say 6 bags total. 7? No. We've had enough of the 6, 7, okay, guys? So let's say 6 bags. Let's go ahead and let's see if that's true. So as I'm finishing up counting these bags, it is really cool to note that you can actually stand these bags up. And with us standing the bags up, we are now at 6. And unfortunately, one more for the Vine or the TikTok or whatever it is these days, 7. So we do have 7 bags total with this set in these paper bags that likes to stand pretty, well, you know, they stand okay. And that looks really cool for you guys on camera, I bet. And then we get into the instruction booklet. Now, I don't believe that there's going to be any information. It's just going to, you know, tutorial guide how to use your tool. And then it goes right into bag number 1 on page number 4. And then we're going to take this party train of Santa all the way to the back of the book, where we're going to have our last picture of him built on page 100. So we're keeping it 100 with Santa. But in total, we're going to have 249 steps on the 99th page. So he's about a 250-step Santa. And you know what, guys? There's not too much more to say. I am super excited. It's Christmas. We have our first paper bags when I've been expecting these since January 2023. I've been expecting this transition. And that's awesome. And we found the set when it should have been out of stock. There is just so many things checking the boxes. Like Charlie Sheen used to say back in the day, winning. So let's keep on winning and moving on with this video. And well, for you guys, that's going to be the review segment right here. Okay, everybody, let's dive into our review of the upscaled Santa minifigure. And before we get into all of the detail, I want to show you guys that there is something hidden inside of that head of Santa Claus that we cannot access now that he is fully built. And of course, we're going to have to jump over to our instruction manual, which I have already open and ready to go on page 66. And on 166, we begin to build this 2x2 little something in another that gets put into the core of his brain, and then it slowly becomes encapsulated into the core of his head. Now, I am not exactly sure what this is. I'm pretty sure people are already screaming in the comments, "You idiot, it's this and that." Well, you know what? To me, maybe he has gifts on his mind. Maybe that's the North Pole with the little red for the toy shop or his house or something in another. It could be either. I am not entirely sure. But I do find it interesting that LEGO did not fail to give us an Easter egg in one way or another, as they normally do. And this is that Easter egg. Now, on to Santa. So the recipe behind this upscaled minifigure pretty much stays the same as the Harry and Hermione over there, or away from my view, the Octane racing driver and the classic minifigure. Just the only difference in the recipe is that the head does not move as it does on others, and that is for a very simple reason: the beard. Since there is a beard on this feller, it prevents the head from being moved. But if you look at other minifigures of Santa, like our newly acquired gold Santa over here, can you really move his head with that beard piece stuffed in there? No. So I think that's pretty cool. That it's consistent. Before we get into the details of that lovely beard, let's check out the details that makes that awesome Santa hat. I like how they went for the flattened look, kind of like a Sleepy Time cap back in the day, instead of a more pointy Santa hat. Again, that really does pay homage to the minifigure, and that is achieved by using various different types of slopes and all types of little pieces, as you guys can see fit here. So I think that's really cool. Of course, there is the traditional huge corner pieces like you see here, with the larger slope pieces that are single in width to make that happen. I do like how the little dingle ball is done on the edge of that hat, using this dish element to kind of finish it out with a little dot element. So the hat overall looks really nice. It doesn't move, doesn't do anything. And then we go into the head. The head is classic minifigure yellow. Would you expect anything else? Of course not. We do have a front print right here with a little bit of a beard element kind of hidden behind the bricks, but we can see those frosty eyebrows with those eyes behind it all. Now, going to the back of the head, we can see we have this white back here. And I like how they really tit for tat this with the minifigure, because when you put the head onto the minifigure, there is a little bit of the beard showing as it sits on the stud of the head. And I like how they incorporated that right here. So that obviously incorporates the front of the beard as we see here. And this is done with, well, your traditional curved elements as well. It is a feast of design. Now when we move down into the arms, well, the arms are done traditional. They're not exactly the same shape as a minifigure. That's not really comprehensible with the current pieces we have from Lego, so I still think this looks perfectly fine. Then we get into the hands. We do not have yellow hands because, well, Santa has these white little gloves as he normally does. But the hands are built just like how all classic minifigure hands are built for the most part. Going into his torso, we have the next printed element, which is going to be the front of his jacket here, which has his buckle and this little white little finishing parts off. And mine did come a little defected, as you guys can see where my thumb is. But I really think that the white does not look too bad. I don't see a lot of red bleed through as we normally get. It's there, but it's not there too bad. This whole thing is tied in with a little bit of a button and a little crease and that. So not too bad for the front torso of the upscale minifigure. Here on the back, it's very plain. It's just red. There is no printed detail. We just have the black line and then we have the white line just to kind of carry over. We also see it here below the arms just to carry over that printed design. Then we move into the legs, and the legs are done pretty much traditionally as we expect, using the same type of 1x4, 1x2, 1x3 type elements with those large curves. And then the bottom of the feet are a little hollow. He is posable, so we can sit him down just like that, which is nice, or we can put him back up and kick a leg out. And I suggest not leaving him like that because he will tip over. Besides the mobility in the legs, we do have mobility in the arms and twisting of the hands. And like I said, the head does not move. It's a really nice upscaled minifigure. Really glad to have this one as a part of the collection. Nothing more to say. Let's wrap up this video. So bringing this video to a close, I just want to say that it is really freaking cool that Lego did not just give us one upscaled minifigure this year. They have officially now given us two. This one and the Octane Racing Driver. I do not know what it is about these guys, but I really do like having them. The more that Lego makes iconic themes of their minifigures in upscaled format, the more we're going to get an army of these guys, and the cooler it's going to be. What's going to be really cool is if they ever take this concept into Star Wars. Imagine an upscaled Darth Vader, or Luke Skywalker, or Anakin, or a clone trooper, or something like that. That is actually a really freaking cool idea. Now, on the subject of Star Wars and pricing of this set, at $55, it is a recommendable set. I think $55 is a really good price. Anything that's 761 pieces with a production license like Star Wars, Harry Potter, will likely be a $100 set. So to be able to get nearly 800 pieces for still under 60 bucks is actually really good. Now, how is the building experience of this 761 piece set for $55? Is there anything less than when you build this set? And honestly, no. It's a really good build. Do you kind of feel like you've done it before with the other upscaled figures? Yeah, a little bit when you start putting the arm mechanisms together inside of his torso. But then you kind of fall out of that tradition when you build the upper head. Like with the classic minifigure that we originally got a few years ago, the head is usually where the differences lie with these guys. And with this one in particular, we had the beard. We did not have a swivel element built into this. And then we had the hat, which is a unique shape. And the hat is also on at an angle. So by the time we got to the head, the familiarity went away. And for the last couple of bags, it was kind of a fun and refreshing build. Like I've already said, I recommend this set. I really have no complaints other than the little printing mistake of where you can fill the excess print buildup, like it got touched while wet or something. But other than that, it's great. I'm really freaking happy with this. Now, what was my first experience building with paper bags? And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I'm a person who always has something to say about everything, and that's why I do this YouTube channel. Paper bags are pretty dope. I think it's different. I think it's unique. Things that I don't like is the lack of transparency. You can't see the parts within the bag, so thus you don't really know your color palette just yet. You don't really know if there's going to be any interesting prints or pink bricks, representing brains or hearts or something. So it kind of keeps it kind of like in a surprise realm of what you may or may not get. The biggest issue with paper bags is sometimes with that waxy lining inside of the bags, the pieces do not like to exit the bags, so the chance of losing pieces has now increased. I noticed that when I built the Neuschwanstein castle, and all of the small parts were in paper bags, but then we had the traditional transparent plastic bags on top of that. When I was trying to get those small parts out of the little paper bags, I was losing small parts inside of those bags. No matter how many times I shook it and tried to get them out, they would not come out. And I found that same issue to roll over, well, into this set. So I will suggest, as plastic bags become less and less and paper bags become more and more, definitely triple check, quadruple check your bags to make sure that you have all of your pieces, because this is going to trip some people up. Going green for the environment does have its perks, but it also has its disadvantages with our own personal convenience with the products that we love. And 2 points about the whole going green thing that I just want to get off the top of my head. I find it really funny how back in our grandparents' day to our parents' day, depends on how old your parents are, I guess, that the whole thing was to save trees. So go from the paper bags to the grocery store to the plastic bags. Lego went from the plastic bags for your Lego pieces back to paper. So it's kind of funny how we're kind of repeating ourselves of, well, save the trees. Okay, no, save the environment, produce less plastic, kill more trees. Okay, wasn't it save the trees and then we found out so it's better to save the atmosphere and then lose the trees? I'm not sure where we're going with this, but you know what? I'm along for the ride. And in the thoughts of going towards paper, do we all remember paper straws and how that turned out? Yeah. Getting your iced tea straw stuck to your mouth when you put your iced tea down. You look down, your straw's hanging out of your mouth, and the tea no longer has a straw. Sometimes paper isn't always best. But you know what? Like I said, I'm along for the ride. And my first experience wasn't bad. Just have to watch out for those tiny pieces getting stuck in that waxy film inside of the bags. And with that, guys, I do not have much more to say other than check this guy out. And Merry Christmas. If you guys enjoyed videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button and follow along with everything that we do here on the channel. As usual, hit the thumbs up, the like button, drop your comments down below. That would be incredible. And up next on the channel, we're going to talk about all the cool stuff coming in January and in 2026. So much good stuff, like AM, PM. It's popping off. And with that, thank you so much. Merry Christmas once again. You all have a good one.